Not really sure the point of telling this story. Don't really know if the school day story are any good, but for whatever reason, in all my travels, these last many, many years, I mean, we're talking coming up on, or past 30 years now, I'm telling stories about shit that happened 30 years ago. When I first moved so the process of my career was, I was a shop tech, line tech, alternative energy specialist, then a parts department manager, and then went on to manage service for my buddy's shop. And when I did that, I hired on, and they had just hired an hourly kid, an apprentice, and it didn't matter what the scenario was. I had a story for that sumbitch. And it went on and on and on. And I had a story for this, and I had a story for that. And then me and my buddy were talking about a trip we took up to North Carolina, and we're like, man. And we had this Hank Williams Jr. CD, and we just had it on loop. And Charlie Daniels Band. And the guy was like, Charlie Daniels? Is that guy? The Devil Went Down to Georgia? And Mike's like, get the CD. And I went out to my truck and I actually had the very CD, and we put that bitch on the CD player, and I just had, didn't matter what the scenario was, old man style, I had an annoying ass story for it, some scenario, and it's really nothing to it. I mean, it may be just inflating my own ego. Now that's maybe based on my insecurity, because when I first went over to management, you get this moment of maybe what the kids call imposter syndrome, But as a result, though, I got these stories, and I like it when my other friends on here tell stories about things they've done. So, and I like telling my own stories. So here we go. I feel like this is the last time I saw Krista. Now, we were in high school, and this is a Memorial Weekend story. So I was thinking of it because Memorial Weekend's coming up, and something about it landing on the exact day. So there's no school in session. What we would do is we were part of ROTC, and we would provide, we're like rifle team and drill team, and we would provide flag ceremony stuff for these events. So the senior ROTC people would be in charge of a couple of juniors, and we'd have, bear the flag at the memorial services. It couldn't have been our senior year, and I don't understand why I remember it as the last time I saw her. Because when you're a senior, this particular week in our area is graduation. You're done with school, so it would have had to have been our junior year. And it's not adult supervised, so we provide our own transportation to this. So we're 16 years old. And now going back to the story of the last girl, Krista's the other girl that was there when Alicia asked me out. We'd never made physical contact before, and we get through this, and man, I don't know, it had to have been our senior year. Because when there's still school after Memorial Day back then, so we still had like a week or so of school, but we get it all done, and we embraced, Krista and me, way that I don't know what it meant for her, but it was amazing. I felt a connection there. I don't know if she did either. Now, she wasn't like me, not in the least. I've had a few friends over the years that were focused and knew by their freshman or sophomore year of high school what their path was going to be. You know, one gal I knew, she was going to go to Cornell, and a couple of people went to the Naval Academy, and my other buddy went to the Citadel. Man, I wasn't like that. I wanted to hang out. I wanted to go to the woods. I wanted to play sports, but not even to the point of, okay, let's focus on the sports and get just as good as we possibly can so we can go to the next level. It wasn't even like that. It was like just enjoying the moment, not even like, you know, hey Ron, if you want to go to the next level, you need to hit the weights a little bit harder. You know, you got the height, you got the frame, you got the speed. Why don't you pump up a little bit? I never got that. Or if I did get it, I didn't get it from the people that it would sink through to me. And there was a couple of things, such as in Boy Scouts, I was right on the edge of completing all of my requirements for Eagle Scout. And it took like a real last minute effort where somebody took me aside and said, hey Ronnie, you know, listen, let's talk about this Eagle Scout thing. He said, it's not just for you. He said, a lot of people have put a lot of effort into this accomplishment. Yes, you received the award, but your mom and your dad and me and the other people that have been involved in your life have all been a part of this process. And this isn't to honor you. He said, this is to honor them. I never understood it that way. And man, I buckled down, completed that, and as luck would have it, you know, that really followed through and accomplished a goal there. And little did I know at the time that there's something with me that I have trouble finishing goals. I have trouble finishing and seeing through dreams and aspirations. Not in me for one reason or another, you know, maybe part of the bipolar or whatever. I don't know. Maybe just without putting a label on it, without hanging a label on it, it's a matter of the way my brain works. I don't have a problem with doing it in another context. When it was something that I really chose to be good at, which was maybe even just finding my sport, it was you know, outdoors and backpacking, and I got very, very good at that. If I do say so myself, not to be too humble pie, but all this has me thinking because my one apprentice at work, he's graduating high school this week, so it's got me reminiscing, and you know, I think there's some stories and events that I want to get off my chest, these feelings, because I truly love my wife, and I wouldn't trade a moment of any event that I've been through, good, bad, or indifferent, even the pain that I've caused to others, if it would change a damn thing that I have right now. I'm very thankful. Not sure what more to say about that, other than you know, later on, tracking Krista a little bit, I was able to sort of follow her career in the Navy, and I saw when she went from, oddly, and I didn't know this was how it worked. I thought it was something different. So she graduated the Naval Academy, and there's actually a process and a point of when they go from Navy Reserve to active duty. Now, there's full-time Navy Reserve people. Interestingly enough, my other buddy that went to the Citadel, he's been an active duty Marine his entire career, but he is actually considered United States Marine Corps Reserve. Is where he currently has his colonelcy through. So it's fascinating, the process, and that's even going through and doing some regular jobs. Like, he worked at the 8th and I for a while, which is a very, I mean, it's an honor to know somebody who's done that. To give you an idea, military-wise, to know and be friends with a Marine who's had the privilege and honor of serving at 8th and I, that's honestly the military equivalent of knowing somebody that's a pro NFL player and a starter. It's a very, very amazing thing for me. And I always joke about him, like how proud I am to know him, and how when he becomes of course I won't shut up about him now, but until when he becomes a general one day, then I definitely won't shut up about him. But it'll be interesting to see if he makes general. He has advantages in that he's a Citadel graduate, and he was around the first year when Citadel was becoming integrated. Things working against him. He's a white male. That works pretty hard against him, but there is somewhat of an element of meritocracy still in certain aspects. And he was fortunate enough. He's been by and large, he got his start like kind of fast tracking being a logistics officer, and to do that sort of thing is, I think it's good. But the story's about Krista, and I'm curious if she's still in the Navy, sort of like in Christmas Vacation. Is Krista still in the Navy? I don't know why she wouldn't be, other than that she was an extremely intelligent person and could do whatever the hell she wanted. And truth be told, the reason why I wanted to go into the Marine Corps, that I went back to try to become active duty, was to actually try to get embassy detail under the auspice of she would work in naval intelligence, and maybe I would serve at the same embassy as her. But that just shows you how ignorant I am, because the Department of the Navy is very traditional in its officer to enlisted relationships. So, I mean, even if that did work out, and even if we were at the same embassy, there's a aspect of that just wouldn't work out, except in the kinky sacrifice our lives kind of way. But thankfully we didn't. Thankfully, like what Shall Not Be Infringed says, God intervenes, right? All right. Catch y'all later.